Hello, people. What is good? Welcome back to episode 2. Oh my God, episode 2 of the Lockdown Sum Up, a new virtual debate show. For this episode, the question is social media having a negative impact on people's mental health? So, since 1974, the number and population of older people in the UK, so that's age 65 and over, who have mental health issues, has grown by nearly 47%. And then also, it's estimated that 1 in 6 people in the UK will have or will suffer from a mental health issue.
The most recent study, either the beginning of this year or last year, is now 1 in 4.
Wow.
1 in 4 people will suffer from some sort of mental health disorder, and it's most likely to be either a mood or a personality disorder.
So I think a small amount of the rising number comes from the fact that now we are more educated on it, because when I was younger, I had crippling anxiety and I didn't know what it was. And I think a lot of people have realized in the last 10 or so years, like, that issues they were having for a long time in their life are mental health issues.
I think that social media has given us a fake representation of what human beings are supposed to do. Everything from, say, body image to materialism to even pornography. It creates this almost unattainable version of perfection.
I think with what you said about the statistics of the elderly people, they've been taught and brought up to not really show their feelings.
Probably in our time era, when we was growing up, Facebook just probably came out. So I think with the younger generation, every girl wants to have a flat stomach, big behind. We don't know how many procedures someone's gone through to do that and what kind of damages they're doing to their actual body. Being a male, some of them do not say that they've got mental health. It's very a taboo when it comes to men.
4 in 5 suicides are by men. Men are supposed to be we're supposed to be the stronger sex, and therefore it seems to be more acceptable that we're the sex that can take it. I don't necessarily think that masculinity in itself is toxic. It's just that there are certain aspects about how we've been brought up that can be toxic. But there are certain elements that are starting to come out in us, and you could argue that it's a form of like social training. If a woman being beaten up, and rightfully so, then there'll be, you know what I'm saying, innit? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
women's fragility has almost been weaponized in certain situations because they can get away with more than men.
But even when you're a man, you're still guilty.
Yeah.
And all those things would affect your mental health.
A lot of the time we talk about patriarchy and how it affects women. Even having in the conversation we had before about your man paying for your nails or whatever, those conversations are fine on the surface. But when it's always, my man needs to be able to buy me this expensive bag. Well, what if your man is broke? Pressure on men to be able to be the providers and they're the head of the household, which I don't agree with. I think that's old school teachings in a book, a holy book that was also written by men, but that's a story for another day. It's the same reason why it's so much easier for women to get custody of their children. They get maternity leave is a given. Paternity leave you have to almost fight for sometimes.
Just a disclaimer, it's not a competition. I'm just saying we have issues in it that we both face. So
it doesn't come across like that at all. I think that it's a good thing because we often do hear the female side in terms of abuse and especially sexual assault. The levels, the rates of sexual assault are drastically underrepresented for men because men don't feel comfortable enough to say it, especially when it's a man being assaulted by another man.
Men absolutely do have issues with like not being able to talk about stuff, and that needs to be talked about. Like, men and women both, it doesn't need to be a competition like you said, Aaron, because men and women both have their difficulties, and this is like without even talking about transgender individuals, like that everyone's got so many different like problems.
Ellie, you mentioned that you don't really go on Twitter too tough because you think it's toxic. Or what is it that you find toxic on that platform?
I use Twitter for acting jobs. I just see things in between the useful stuff. People's opinions that just don't need to be said, like just unnecessary nastiness. People just jump on the opportunity to be horrible sometimes.
Hey Lachey, your hair looks nice, by the way. She can hear me. Hey girl. Twitter's literally like has a herd mentality. Like everything is worth the retweets. And if you have 15,000 comments telling you ain't shit or you're a fucking idiot, you're gonna actually go to bed and actually think I ain't shit and I'm a fucking idiot.
I'm assuming that everyone on here, or most people on here, know who Molly May is. I literally see every single day people are just bullying them both. Like, for every little thing they do. I can understand people can have an opinion on things. The amount of comments that they receive, like on Twitter especially, I even tweeted the other day, I was like, I think people need to relax. It's like you're sitting there whilst being beaten with a stick repeatedly, and you're just taking it. You don't have to always comment how you feel about something. So if you see that, okay, someone's made a point, like it, leave it at that.
And even when Kim Kardashian posted her birthday picture, now me, I'm not a Kardashian fan, Jenner fan like that. I could give you a list of problematic things I think they do. But I think people are falling into this trap of trying to police other people for what they do. Like, all your friends were on Instagram going to Dubai, doing pari, but then you're coming for the celebrity because you're sad you're still broke and can't do it. Like, unless you're telling your friends on Instagram, why are you uploading pictures in the midst of a pandemic in a room that's more than 6 people? Don't come on Twitter talking about, oh, she said she was humble and blessed. Well, I'm sorry that she has money and you don't.
I don't know if anybody's seen the video going around of the guy. I don't know who he is, but he smashes a brand new PS5 on the ground. But I don't know. To me, that's like the idea of clout is just killing people. Something that people have been, really trying to save their hard-earned money for. Why is it that so many people tune into that and say, oh, that's something that I want to see? And so it's like both sides of the coin. It's affecting people in very different ways.
Yeah, I 100% think that society is causing a rise in mental health. I'm aspiring to become a professional dancer. So the dance industry and performing arts industry is just so wrong.
It's awful, isn't it? It's awful.
All sides as well, from your teachers to the people in your class. Sorry, continue.
Yeah.
Every single music video, commercial, whenever there's dancer in there, I always look for the oversized one. You shouldn't have to sit there and watch music videos and just be like, oh, well, where's the fat one? Have I got any hope? I love people like Lizzo and Anne-Marie. When you was younger, you was taught it's all about that, and it's all about being skinny. It's all about having perfect teeth, perfect hair.
I kind of want to say that this whole ideal of the perfect person has actually always been in society. Even from back in the day in the old 60s adverts, the perfect wife, and just it's just natural that through time the trajectory of how things are improving with technologies and things like that, now it's just even more so in our face because everything is so accessible to us. I don't think that it's any worse or any better. It's more in our faces. But then again, back before we had social media, we were sitting in front of the TV all day, and then you had adverts that were doing the exact same thing. But I think what the detrimental thing is that we're not being taught resilience. I could sit here and I can look at Instagram baddie right now and be like, oh yeah, and put the phone down and feel no way. Not everybody has that. So I think that's where the problem lies. It depends on your type of personality.
A history of trauma will have you mistaking peace for boredom. What we were saying earlier about Twitter. Twitter is a mad, unfiltered place, right? I learned it the hard way, basically, where I agree with the conservative comment and had people in my DMs giving me death threats. That is the place where you go to either be loved in your entirety or be hated in your entirety. There shouldn't be any one group of people that get to decide what the rest of society can think.
Just with social media, I feel like, I don't know if it was Eddie that was saying it about Molly May. When you get into the celebrity world, you have to build up this type of resilience, and you just have to be able to block out all the negative energy. I know it's easy said than done.
I think not everything has to be said. There's some things on the timeline that I see and I agree with. I'm like, what kind of dumb shit are you saying? But I look at you can analyze the situation. If one person has a tweet that's blown up cussing them and there's 10,000 comments telling you ain't shit, why do you have to be the 10,001 person to tell them that they ain't? Also with PS5 thing, that guy has been doing dumb shit. And I think it's because everyone is seeking this 5 minutes of fame, because Aaron brought it up about cancel culture again. There's a few people I don't mind we cancelling. Like R. Kelly, he's got to go. He can be in the bin. I don't care. The amount of nonsense that man has done, if people want to cuss him, they can cuss him. Me, I don't care. Throw him in the bin with all his songs. He's been blocked on Spotify for a long time now.
Just with all these trolls, I think in real life, they don't have none of that energy.
Keyboard warriors. The keyboard
Facts.
warriors.
Facts.
Right.
Facts,
So,
facts.
baby boy, baby girl, face to face.
Try
None of
me,
that.
please, please
None
try
of
me,
that.
please.
But then that's another argument
But I'm
of
not a fighter,
social media
I'm a lover.
providing that protection. You're adding on a comment. Maybe that comment is then saying, "Oh, do you know what? If I say this will cause a stir, or this will get a lot of likes and stuff like that." And it's that same concept.
Nothing to do. Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing productive going on in their life, in their house. Them and their one cat, one dog.
Right.
The whole Sainsbury's advert. You must have
Oh,
nothing to
don't
do
get
with
me
your life.
started.
You have to go on Twitter and tell people that you don't like to see a black family on TV. I was going back to say quickly, because Naila had a tweet blow up the other day, and that was about the whole Tesco Sainsbury's thing. And that was, can you imagine if all those comments were negative comments about you? Like, that was you made a positive tweet, but imagine the reverse. Like, you're tweeting something and all those people were coming at you in a negative way. Like,
I experienced that. They were saying that come to the end and we'll sort you out, and where's your
Out of
postcode
order.
and this, that, the other, and different opinion.
Right. If you're coming to a conversation and you have no ammunition, then go and go sit your cranials down. Because you know one thing.
The gun is empty, not reload. Empty,
Right.
You're shooting blank.
In the last 2 years of Love Island, right? In the last 2 years, 3 people have committed suicide.
I don't believe it's the show's fault. Personally, it's people. It's people who are making those comments. Yes, there are things that the show could do to be more inclusive and to, make it seem like not everything has to have this image. But at the same time, it's the people who are choosing to make those comments.
One thing social media has taught us is innately, I think humans aren't shit. I think we are very flawed, because really and truly, we make social media. Like, I completely agree. Like last year when everyone was saying cancel Love Island, it's like people fail to recognize that it's not the actual show. It's people who have caused these. It's people, everyday people that are leaving hateful comments. If the comments were all fairies and lovely, then people wouldn't have unfortunately committed suicide. Like,
that's true.
I think
it's shifting the blame.
Yeah, like social media, people need to be honest with themselves. I watched Big Brother. I was a Big Brother stan. I loved Big Brother. Well, I even checked from my old tweets because I want to make sure that I'm not a hypocrite. I wasn't the one Ruth's face. Listen, okay, I like that. It's my guilty pleasure. Okay.
I'm sorry, but I don't have time to sit around watching people. I have money for Mick.
Yeah, I was young. Okay, I was a teenager.
Can I ask a question?
Wait. Let me just get it out. But what I was trying. Oh, I forgot now. Oh yeah, no.
Sorry.
What I'm trying to say is, like, you have a choice to make when you watch a TV show. You can jump on the bandwagon, or you can choose. I even want to give my opinion. Like, don't think I'm not here when Love Island's on tweeting alongside the show, but I'm not here cussing anybody out. At some point, people you can't just blame social media. You have to actually look at yourself. The one, even with the whole like body images and the projections and the things it makes you think. Let's be honest, half the girls on social media, they're influencers. I don't know what you're influencing, because I know it's not me. Anyways, you're getting BBLs, but then promoting waist trainers. That makes no sense, because you didn't achieve
routine.
Exactly, and like achieve. So we have to be honest. It's not social media. Those apps were just created. We made them what they are today.
Amongst everything, like Aaron says, like you kind of are in a way putting yourself out there. So what makes you keep going?
With me, like what keeps me going is just literally my passion. I've literally I've danced since I was 3 years old, and literally that's all I can see me doing. That's like oxygen to me is dance.
Really, really glad that you said that, because it's a passion of mine now, because of the experiences that I had is the reason why I started up my business. From all those people who looked at me funny when I'd walk in with my whole group of white students behind me, and they'd be like, who's the teacher? Me. I'm the teacher. And they're looking at me like, yes, big West End theatres. And they look at me like, yes, me.
I was just saying, Ruth, shameless plug. What is your business? Like, talk more about that.
So I started up my own ballet school, essentially called Point Black. And it's about the studio or the dance studio just being a more diverse and safe and inclusive place. Even down to hair, like I would have my hair cane roll, braids, afro, and my dance teacher would be like, sorry, your hair doesn't look like everyone else's.
Good on you though, Ruth.
Yeah, there's so many people that now because they're worried about what the people around them, like, we're worried about what people around them will say, like, but yeah, I was just curious. I was trying to ask you guys in general, because we don't have long left, if anyone feels comfortable, so obviously you don't have to, but how do you think, number 2 questions, do you think social media has had an impact, whether it's positive or negative, on like your mental health in general? And have you had any periods of your life where your mental health was at a low or struggling, and what do you think was really the cause of that, those periods?
Yes and yes. I got into a lot of self-comparison, and if I had allowed it to fester and carry on for ages and ages and ages, I probably wouldn't have got my degree or my master's. I probably wouldn't have been as openly conservative as I am now. And I've just become more comfortable myself as a person, although I'm not 100%. It's still a work in progress.
Well, I haven't had any mental on social media, any mental health on social media. I follow like positive people, positive quotes. I live by that. I love it in the morning, gets me going. Just after having my son, I was born with a heart condition, so my pregnancy was very high risk. I just think after having my son, just falling in love with myself again. My body's changed, trying to get back to the normal me. That was very hard. Still trying to maintain a relationship and motherhood. But yeah, that was tough for the first year. But now I'm on the move. I love my groove, I love my body, and yeah, it's all me.
Yes.
So yeah, when I was 15, I like suffered with depression, and also I ended up getting anorexic. I had bulimia, body dysmorphia. I wouldn't say social media was the cause of it, but obviously it helps the whole mental side of it along. Like, as when I say helped, it didn't. I mean, like, it escalated it a lot, because it's so easy to search certain thing that's triggering, like, and it's so easy to follow people that you can buddy up with. So like, yeah, I'm all like good now though. Love my food, can't stop eating. So I always just like, I'm one of these people, like, I've been through a bad time, but now I look back, I just laugh at it, because I think you have to laugh, otherwise you'll cry.
I feel like in some aspects, social media can be a good thing sometimes, because it can also be a bit of a welcome distraction. There are other times where it can be very detrimental as well. I've always wanted to be an actress, and there's a lot of pressure for people to get everything done by a certain age and to look a certain way and stuff. So someone wants to look at me. I've got, like, technically, according to Hollywood, 1 year left to have a career. There's been so many times where I've literally sat there like in tears thinking, am I where I'm meant to be? There are a lot of aspects of my life that I am happy with. Like, I've got a very like loving family and loving boyfriend, and like I'm healthy, I'm here, so there are a lot of things to be grateful for, but I just think that we can get in our heads a lot, and if you can overcome it in whichever way is good, as long as you're not harming yourself or other people, then it's within everyone. And I hope everyone can get to that place and can see that things do get better, and to just try not to obsess over things too much, and just remember that social media is not real. It's not real.
I only started back properly on social media at the beginning of this year when I started Point Black, and that was the only reason why. I can definitely see where it can be detrimental to some people. When I look at people on my Instagram, I look at people like Ingrid Silva and Kira Robinson, and their hyperextension is perfect, and their feet are perfect, and their lines are that, and I'm just like, okay, Ruth, so why are we not there yet? And it comes in, and then it kicks off my imposter syndrome, because I'm just like, oh, okay, like, am I really good enough then to be doing all of this stuff, because I don't look like them? as I say, even a person like me who I really don't care about other people's opinions. I could not really give a toss. But it still affects me. And then sometimes I have to catch myself and be like, oh, boo, what's going on? Are you good? I was diagnosed with clinical depression 6 years ago, I think. So that journey within itself, I mean, I've been through a lot in my life. I would say that's probably the hardest thing and the best thing that's ever happened to me. I wouldn't have been alienated in order to bring myself up by myself, for myself.
Yo, when you said imposter syndrome,
Imposter syndrome. Yeah, it's a thing.
I had to write imposter and therapy on my notebook because, like Neela said, with the acting, I feel you. If I have my soul speaking to, that's why. That's literally why, like, I chose my path to kind of start behind the camera first and then work towards it. That's a conversation for another day. Anyway, and therapy, what you were talking about, I want to say, particularly to people from ethnic backgrounds, it is very discouraged.
Girl,
if you bring up therapy, often it's, are you crazy? Or why do you need to talk to people about your problems? Or your grandparents or your great grandparents went through all this. Why are you not able to just how technology is improving, you not have a thumbprint on your phone, you don't think that maybe you need to actually improve your way of thinking as well?
That is a real, I've experienced it. And like Aaron said before, as Christians, we're taught that, do you know what I mean? We don't need to do that. We just need to pray. We just need to talk to God. Or like mental health. What is a mental health disorder? Nah, it's cool. Let me just take you to Pastor Asher Maloa so that he could pray the demons out of you, because this, that. Honest, that's a conversation for another day, Ajay. If you need help, go and get it. Find someone, somewhere, and ask for help.
100%. Like the one good thing I will say about social media, and it's kind of what Leda was saying, is the great thing is they may be in a different continent or a different country, but there are actually people you can meet. Like, it's mad to even think, even Naila. I never met Naila in real life. I've never met you, Ruth, in real life. I've never met you, Yasmin, in real life.
Yeah, so there was a time when my cousin got engaged, and it kind of made me feel like I was empty, because I felt really empty without a partner. And everyone my age was getting into relationships and, you know, having children and stuff. And I tried to take my own life because I just couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take the loneliness anymore. I'd rather not be alive if it means that I don't have a life that I want, basically. So there was lots of therapy and crying involved, and there was family beef as a result of it. And even now, I still get, like, with self-comparison, I still feel like I should have achieved more at my age despite having a degree in masters. I'm 25 and I'm 25 next month, and I'm still at home with my mum.
Trust your timing. Not everything is listen, Rome was not built in a day.
Yeah, just say that one more time for the people at the back, please.
For the people across the pond, trust your timing. Yeah, it's not going to happen tomorrow. Listen, I wanted to be married by 25, baby. Don't happen. Find your own road, find your own lane. Don't worry, don't watch what's going on around you, because this is what social media would do. Oh, she's happy. You don't know she's getting beaten in her house. He's happy. You don't know what he's doing. Trust your timing.
You never know how people make their money as well. Like, it's easy to see the flaunting of cash on Instagram, but really and truly, a lot of them don't have food in their fridge, let's be honest. So if some people literally live for that Friday, Saturday night, going to the club and being in VIP, but the electricity bill hasn't been paid yet. It's easier said than done. I just did my master's, graduated in July, and still got my car yet. I'm like, oh my God, just started to embark on this creative career in full, where I spent the last how many years decided not to do it because I was like, oh, there's no point, blah, 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 blah. As much as it's easy for your parents or adults to say to you, oh, but you can't watch people on social media. Okay, well, you didn't grow up with that. Yeah, you grew up and you watched TV or you saw adverts on TV, but it's not the same. We literally have it from all ends. You have your family telling you must be successful, you must do well, you must provide, you must have a great future, set yourself up. Then you go on social media and it's like, oh, you must do well, you must make money, you must set yourself up and your family up. Then you go to do it, you're earning what, a starting salary what in the UK, 21k a year. Who we live in London, whose rent can that pay? So then you go on Instagram and everyone's doing big cash count, big cars, living in their own places, making big money. And then let's not forget the dawn of YouTube and making money offline. People make it seem like you just hop on YouTube today and you start making 6 figures. That is not how it works. I've been on YouTube for 6 years. Yeah, it's been inconsistent, but I've seen people come, seen people go. And as much as this year has been crazy and 2020 has just been doing the most, if it has shown us anything, it's shown us that this life cannot be taken for granted, because it can be taken away. And as much as these things seem so big to us now, in 10 years' time, these things will feel so small to us. Never compare your struggles. That will set you up. That's like when your mum says to you, oh, there's people starving in Africa. Okay, but I'm in England and I still don't want to eat this food. So what's that got to do with the situation right now?
Just quickly off what you just said, I used to hate it when my mum used to say that. When I was like a child and really fussy, I'm really fussy. She used to say that all the time. I used to be like, just send my food there, please, because I don't want it. The worst thing to do ever is just to compare yourself, and like you do it without even thinking. Like you can scroll on Instagram or wherever or watch telly, and automatically you're thinking, oh, what have they got that I haven't got, or where are they in their life? Like, and I'm not there in my life. But like literally, like you just got to train yourself not to compare yourself. So even with like when Ruth was saying like about these ballet dancers, and she was like comparing like her lines, her like her foot, her feet and everything. Like you are you, they are them. Like there's no comparison. Like you're completely different, and everyone's got their own clock. Everyone is meant to be somewhere at a certain time.
Comparison will always lead to fault, because you never truly know what someone's going through. Like, everyone, this is why I hate the term or phrase relationship goals, because you do not know what is going on behind closed doors. You see people take a nice picture on Instagram doing kiss hug, but behind with everyone. So, or she's cheating. So
Beyonce got cheated on. No hope for me, boy.
Comparison is the thief of joy. I truly believe
You're
that.
better looking than Beyonce.
That's so sweet. He said you're better looking than Beyonce. That's so sweet.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh, thank you, Aaron. Thank you.
But it's true though. Beyonce did get cheated on, and people look at her as an icon.
Yeah.
Like, it's
softly spoken. She don't look like she even says a swear word. Me, I'll cuss you out. I'll tell you about you. Underneath, inside out.
That's the thing. That's
foot bottom.
And that's cross the feet, jaggerback man. But that's
Hola, say that one again.
they are with crusty toes. Listen, don't trust these men.
Me, I feel like, especially after this whole coronavirus, that social media have made people feel like if they're not successful, they feel like a failure. So now a lot of people seeking validation from social media.
I must say, you look very fabulous with your red hair and your hat. Like, you're serving looks right now. I'm in pajamas and your hair serving looks.
Yes, girl. You better.
You better
get it. What you talking about? You better get it.
So, I was gonna say, like, this whole, and that's the thing as well about our generation and capitalism, hyper productivity. Like, productivity, in my opinion, has really become a curse. Not everything should be about money. Like, I started doing nails just because I wanted a new hobby during this pandemic. The first thing people say to me is, oh, so when are you going to start charging and making money? Maybe I just did it for myself. Yeah, maybe in the future I might want to do little nail, £10, £20 acrylics, full set. But I didn't do it for that. I just did it because I wanted to bring.
And it's easy. It's easy to compare yourself as well, because during the shutdown, a lot of people, we on our phone, on social media, a lot of people start watching TV and on their phone all day long. And so now you're on your phone and you seeing other people do the same thing you do, and now you starting to compare yourself to other people. I used to do the same thing. I had compared myself because I do event planning and decoration and stuff, and I do a lot of other stuff too. But every time I got on social media, this girl I looked up to, I always seen her buildings look so much better than mine. So when people gave me a compliment, they'd be like, oh, your decoration's so cute. And I'd be like, well, not like such and such, not like hers. So I start downplaying my anointing, downplaying my work and talent because of comparison. So I had to go on a social media fast where I couldn't even be on social media like that until I built my confidence in my own self. And when I built my confidence, I saw a major difference in my business all from my confidence itself.
Success is not a destination. There's no such thing as 100%. Let me just say that to you right here, right now.
That's what I was gonna say. Repeat it again for the people in the back.
For the people in the back.
There's no such thing as feeling 100% of something or I've achieved everything. Or success is not a destination. It is not a stagnant thing. It's not even linear. Yeah. Scientifically, things are always ever changing. It's a journey. That's what self-confidence is. Having faith that no matter what happens, I will be okay. That was one of the things when I was going through therapy that was the hardest. The second one was my therapist sat there and told me that I had to say this positive affirmation every single day to myself, that I forgive myself for my mistakes. Yeah. In order for you to grow, you have to struggle.
Every no gets you closer to your yes. And we got to get in a place where we understand that you're not going to always be accepted. And so
say that again. Say that again.
Ready for that one.
Say that again. One more time for the people in the back, Lachey. One more time.
So every no, because really a rejection is like they saying no. No, you can't do it. No, you can't come. No, I don't like your ideas. No, you're not good enough. Every no gets you closer to your yes. And the people that you rejected you, they're probably not for you anyway. They because everybody got a crowd that's attached to us. Everybody is assigned to different type of people. So the people that are rejecting you, that means they're not for you anyway. If I go straight to the top, everything that comes fast do not last. So we have to be careful with what comes too fast.
It's hot, ain't a fan. The thing is also, that's what they always say, even when you think you have a desired destination, it's the reason why billionaires and millionaires continue wanting to make more money, because you always want more. There really is no end result. You're always going to continue wanting more. There's no such thing as true success or a true finish line. I personally think the most happy people in this life are the ones living off the grid without the things that we think we need nowadays, without the bank account full of zeros, because they know that true happiness is really within. But living in such a capitalist society and the world that we do now, you feel like if you're not making money, you're not able to buy the things you want to buy. If you don't look a certain way, you feel like you won't have opportunities to the things you want to have or feel this way you want to fit. Like, it's just, we get pressures from all angles, and whether it is social media, whether it is your relationships, whether it's your friendships, whether it's your family. Because I also think family has a lot to do with people's insecurities, and what we take sometimes as just your family saying to you, for example, oh, you're poor on weight or this or that. You don't need to tell me that. I have a mirror. I can see, like, why, like, I can see that.
So in the moments where it feels hard, don't resort to your phone as the first thing. That is the meaning of accountability. You have to audit yourself sometimes and just be like, okay, this is not conducive for what I want to do. So let's make some changes. And then once you're living in your truth, that motivation will come.
This conversation has been very cathartic. I feel like, mental health issues is something that, and that's one thing, as much as people love to talk about our generation or people in their 20s and 30s or whatever, we are having the conversations that the previous generations did not have. And it's the reason why I genuinely think our generations will change the world and continue to make progress in such a way. But again, I want to thank all of you for coming on, and to the people, and to Naila and Ellie as well. Thank you. This has been the Lockdown Sum Up Virtual Debate Show, episode 2. We have Ruth saying, we got Yasmin, Lachey, Aaron, and Rianne, and of course the people who left us. And just look after yourself, be kind to yourself. As Lachey, can you please take us out with what you said again, that yes quote that got me? I'm still thinking about it.
Every no gets you closer to your yes.
Bye.
Bye.